There we go. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, hey, Betsuga.
Hello.
How are you guys doing? Hello, everyone. Just started up the stream. There we go. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Oh God, I have my own stream on. Betsuga. Myself twice. Oh, how are you guys doing? Hello, everyone.
Yeah, I've just
started up the stream.
I made that mistake too as well. I've just
There we go. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Oh God, I have my own stream
hey.
on. Oh, there we go. Shit, everything's bad. Have a good game, you guys.
Yeah.
Great start to the stream, everyone.
Hi. Shit. Welcome.
Hello, anyone that's watching.
God, there we go. Everything's great. Hello, welcome to our Community Cup number 4. This is the Combat Cup. Tomorrow, I do believe there will be a regular Arena Cup. And I think there also will be an NA Cup. So I'm looking quite a lot forward. I'm looking forward to that quite a lot. That's how you say that. So I will just go in here. God, this is going fantastic.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10, 1015, 420p. Yeah. I haven't even done the sound test yet. Try and say something.
Hello, testing.
Ready.
Ooh,
Kill me now.
I think that's good. Yeah, if sounds completely whack, then tell us. But we're here. We're clear. We're here. Everything's going great.
Yep.
This is not blue team. This is not orange team. This is Mildcard versus Amok. We'll be following Amok around because this is a round robin since there are only 4 teams today. So we'll just be following them around. It's going to be fine. Then we'll see all the teams not play against each other, but play against Amok, which is fine since they've been kind of some of the people we've been following a lot.
Oh, sorry,
So,
I can't do anything about
please,
it now,
while
sorry,
I
but
just set this last things up, take it away. What do you want to see from them?
Well, I think today we're going to hopefully see a little bit more. I hope fast pressure play. Now, last week obviously we were running payload, so this is going to be a very different style matches, or a few matches today. We're looking like Amox again, pushing on to the point of success. They're going to take that in the early round. Now, it doesn't actually matter yet because the point is still locked down. However, getting possession at this early stage is always a good thing, just because you can then basically lock people out. And defense generally will get you, or you can hold on to this point quite effectively on defense.
Yeah, and it's well, the setups are kind of vary a lot, and I do think having like even one person on the point is quite difficult because it's so open. You can really be shot from everywhere here. But they are coming in. They are trying to go for a little bit of a push, but 3v2. That is going to be a little bit tough for Wildcard.
I'm not sure if you saw that earlier, but actually it looks like someone from Blue Team is running Phase Shift, which is a nice change. I know that they recently patched it, they provided kind of a buff to it in the latest patch, which should have made it much more viable. I like it very much as a disengage tool, although they are going to mop that pretty quickly. Amok will do, not allowing the kind of sniper to gain any pressure from the other side of the map.
It is it's quite a weird sort of push. We're seeing a lot of fragmented pushes. Yeah, just one person going in there. Not really. I mean, Mildcard are not a combat team. They are an arena team, and they have, I think, Hackbuster on there too.
Yeah,
no, it's not even. It's only Iterum and Fangorn on Wildcard.
So I think you'll probably see the differences between kind of, I wouldn't say pro and non-pro teams just yet, because I mean it's so early days. It's not really defined just yet. However, the fact that you're seeing kind of these single-player pushes from Hackbuster's team. Mildcard, is pretty. It's not a great indicator for where this match is going to be going. Generally speaking, it's the same concept as you see in some of the other maps like Payload that we did last week. Overwatch as well is a very familiar concept. Staggered spawns happen in this game, and that if players go out one by one, you just get an endlessly change. So hopefully they will sort themselves out with that, because that is not a great sign to start with.
It is not. I should really quickly say, you might be noticing a really sleek overlay and just general feel to the stream. Thank you for that. Jersey designed all that just in his free time.
Oh no, you were not.
Thank you for that. It looks very good. So we're just testing it out.
Thank you very much. Yes, yeah, I'm looking forward to Looking forward to it because we're getting some actual brand new in-game overlays as well coming soon. So excited to get those all up and running. But yeah, I'm very happy with how the kind of visuals turned out. So yeah, they're all looking good.
Pretty good. And yeah, again here we see a very, very strong start from Amok. They are just picking people off. Not even one has been killed. There has been some people with very, very low health, but that's not a kill, and that is just kills. Because if you can't get kills, you can't get the point, and you can't win.
Yeah. Another thing Amok is actually very well known for, and that you will have seen already so far in this match, is the staggered healing that they use. So they are probably one of the best teams in the game at the moment, I would say, for the healing, being able to communicate the heals and layering the heals correctly. It's something that I even though there are other teams that have beaten them in various tournaments, especially from North American side, I think that regardless, the healing has been kind of top form from them in most of their matches. In terms of their ability to communicate and relay them.
It really, really has. They've also had some troubled times lately. They've been kind of placing very, very low in tournaments. Ooh, a great, actually, collected attack here, but just get completely punched out. One person will make it on to the point, but he will not stay on there for long as the sniper kind of doesn't really do anything out there. But as I was saying,
the sniper's not really doing a great deal of work from the corner there. The whole point of the sniper is to provide pressure, and if he is basically having to hide from covering fire 90% of the time, and then getting stacked on, which is great from Amok there. That was a really nice little push.
Almost get the point. Malcard will just miss out on a couple of percentage points.
Again, seeing phase rush here. Now, one thing to mention is when you're in phase, although you're invulnerable, you also do not affect the point capping. So you can't sit in the point with phase and kind of try and stop people from capping it, which is a mistake some players actually do make in terms of forgetting that if they activate phase in the point, they are then no longer counted. That has come up once or twice in some slightly interesting ways that I think some of the players do tend to forget about occasionally.
Yeah, I'll just do this. Now I can hear you pretty well. God damn.
Is that like a little visual bug? Am I seeing?
Yeah, it's a weird. It's a new one. Because it doesn't.
I wasn't sure if it was my screen.
No. I've had it. It's in Arena too. I think it got introduced. I'm not too sure. Okay. But as I was saying, like way before, Amok has been kind of in a rough spot. They haven't been practicing as much as they should. They haven't been practicing as a team. They've just kind of been going into pubs and kind of just played a little bit, and that is just not what you want. You want to be very, very specific in what you do. You want to be very specific in how you train and when you train. And I think, from what I know, I think they've been doing that a little bit more. So we should hopefully see them win a little bit more, because they have been kind of slacking it off a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's it. I know that they are going through some training processes at the moment. Or if I say processes, they basically there are things that are happening which should have a knock-on effect in terms of their performance. I hope a positive effect. Although I think one of the big things that Amok has struggled with as well is actually getting good competition in Europe. Echo Combat has been quite popular in the North American region. However, in Europe, there haven't been that many teams that have kind of stepped up and that kind of can be scrimmed against, essentially. And as we all know from Echo Arena, good scrims are one of the most important things for developing strategy, gameplay, skills, abilities. So I think they are hurting quite a lot by not having that as an available resource. However, there are things that are happening to kind of start enabling that a little bit more, which is good to see. And I hope that there will be more of a positive impact on that in the, maybe not today, but in the coming weeks, essentially.
Yeah, I hope so too. And I don't actually. Oh, capture point. God, there we go. Yeah, I was thinking about it earlier, and I was thinking about some of the ex-Arena players that maybe don't play as much Arena anymore. I'm talking very specifically about one
Orange Squad ready.
Long Gecko, who has been in the Discord Cup, the original Discord Cup, and he played really, really, really well. He was very good. Even back, I think he would even still be considered good now. So, I would kind of like to see him be on a little bit more, because then
Yeah.
we might get some more teams.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think Gecko's been quite a good Echo Combat player for someone that hasn't played it a great deal. He's been doing quite well, and I know him and Boop are kind of getting into it a little bit lately. So it's good to see, and I think that as I said, that there seems to be more options now or coming up in terms of scrims, which should help significantly in terms of the team's ability. Although getting into this next game, we're going to be stuck on the second round, I believe.
It's the second round.
Second game of this. Yeah.
Oh, he's screwed. He's like, he's really on. He's like, yep. Okay.
Yeah, and we do see a thing that was actually, I was just going through the maps and kind of wondering what you could do, how you could do things. The backboard up there, the catwalk, is extraordinarily well protected. It is 3 times as strong. Oh, great play actually from Duck here, not dying. He's just being constantly healed by his teammates. That is pretty good. But the catwalk up there, yes, is really, really well protected. It's 3 times as strong as all the other shields on the map. So you don't really have to worry that much.
I didn't know that, actually.
I didn't either, but I tested it out, and they take like 29 shots from a pulsar, I think.
That's awesome.
So
Little things. The more you know. Okay, so actually, I really like the position that was just being taken up there by, I believe that was Batsuga. He's holding up high at the corner of the map. In order to get a really good vantage point of literally everywhere, because you can get a really great view of everything that's happening. And again, this little play from Amok hiding for different angles, like just on the rim, because people are pushing through the tunnels. Again, fantastic play, great way of being able to get some shots into the main area without actually taking much damage.
Yeah, oh yeah, and it is. I mean, it's they've just been playing actually a lot better right now.
Yeah, they are. This could, do you know what, I know we were kind of giving them quite a lot of stick last week for their performance in the payload map. However, they have trained primarily for the capture point maps.
That is true.
So it could just be that we are now seeing them in a much more kind of their standard build essentially. So they're much more comfortable with the map and their ability to make plays in it. As you said, I think they've been doing really well so far. So I'm excited to see if they can keep this up.
They have been. Not a single percent has even gone to Malkat. So they have been really, really just holding it out, just grabbing the point when they need to. Not necessarily going for the early kills, but just, setting up for a place where you want to be and then just defending that place. So they've been doing quite a bit better than I think. And I think they did in the 3rd Community Cup, where they also did kind of bad, but they pushed through it.
I remember speaking to Flush after that cup, and I think the general consensus after that match was along the lines of they hadn't played. It was just after Christmas. It was just after the Christmas break, and they hadn't played in quite a while, so they were getting back into it quite fresh. So yeah, I think now this is if all of these things are correct and their payload wasn't that strong and they weren't great coming back into Christmas, this should be in theory their best cup to date. So I'm excited to see if they can keep this up.
I'm excited. Unfortunately, Kangaroos aren't playing today. VR Respawn is, and they are one of the stronger teams. So I'm excited for the matchup because we're going to follow them.
Very much.
We will see that at some point.
Great stuff.
Oh, we see that. Yeah, I'm not quite sure who put that out, but the arc mine people found out is so strong because you at the start of a team fight, and the shotguns are pretty strong too. But at the start of a team fight, you just kind of put it out there, or when you're capturing a point, or when you just want some information on somewhere, you just kind of put it out, and it's just a fire and forget sort of thing. Yeah. It's just really, really, really good. And people have started to notice that because it also chain stuns. It also says if anyone comes near a stunned player while they are being stunned, it also stuns them.
Yeah, the Arcmine can be incredibly powerful and has had the ability to shut down entire teams straight away. Yeah. So it's definitely something to be aware of. We're seeing a great 2-man push here from Flush and Stoty, I believe, around the back, sneaking in. The blue team are going to spot it and going to get some grenades out, but they've got meteors and shotguns just coming down on them, and that is a slaughter.
Just absolutely pinching them in. That was fantastic.
That was a fantastic little pincer maneuver there from Amok.
Yeah, that could have been avoided because you can see people going out if you have the tac mod that one.
Threat scanner?
Never
Threat scanner?
Threat scanner, exactly.
Yeah. So.
You can do that, or you could have had a mine there or something. But still, it's just very, very, very strong to be in a place where you can't escape and then you have to.
Yeah. It requires, from their position, what they would have needed to do there was push in one direction very quickly.
Yes.
Because they do need to remember they are still 4 players versus 2 either side. So the idea, if you ever get caught in one of those positions, from the blue team's perspective, you basically just need to go all out on one direction. And you're essentially running away from the other direction.
Oh, that was
again.
Fortunate. That stunned both of them, but they could not grab the kills for themselves. That was... That was unfortunate.
Good game, guys.
Nah,
Thank you,
don't
guys.
die.
I accidentally switched to a comment right at the end. God damn it, I'm sad now.
Oh,
Okay, I have to
I think
ask, is there
it's
some
the
heat
outlines
seeking
of the
feature for-
players that, like when the match stops, I think. You there, Jesse?
Sorry, I'm eating, trying to recover.
He
Apologies.
was feeling a little bit delicate tonight.
Yeah, I may have gone out last night. Jersey did a dum-dum.
Just me.
Yeah. You know when you go for a drink and then it gets to the point where you end up drinking for the sake of drinking, and it's just like there's no pot of gold at the end of this. There's just a very, very bad hangover the following day. I'm currently reaping the rewards of that.
Nice.
That concept. So
That's
yeah,
great.
apologies if I am not the most lively to the start of the stream today. I 2 painkillers and a Lucasade Sport down, however, so I am on my way to recovery, and I have had an entire day to also try and get over this. It's just it's that bad. That's
Then it's
Well, I
not
mean,
any-
it's kind of like that.
I mean,
not
it's
necessary anymore.
I don't know if
Yeah,
it's the
but
same
maybe
or
it's
it's just
just
a
sometimes
concept that happens in
games.
Denmark.
No, you
Where
could just tell.
if you ever say like, "Hey, do you want to go for like a beer?"
Yeah.
Just one
It's a
beer.
moderate game.
Just
Yep.
one beer is never just one beer. Just one beer is always either you get drunk or you get smashed.
Yeah. I can relate to that. Oh boy.
Sounds like a fun night.
The more I talk about it, the more I talk about it, the more I'm feeling it. So I'm gonna try and avoid that conversation now. Oh god. No. So I think really strong showing from Amok there in the first round. I am excited to see how their other matchups today go, because as we mentioned, the blue team there were kind of an Echo Arena team that I think were just kind of getting into combat at the moment. They weren't. I think they're relatively new in terms of their position in the Echo combat side of things, although really everyone's quite new at the moment. But I think we should see kind of much closer matches with some of the other teams as they're kind of more of the stable roster, I'd say, of Echo combat teams that are out there at the moment.
Well, there is. Let's see here. Let's see. There was a picture here. Yeah, we have the 4 teams of just here, so we don't get fined. We have Mildcard,
Who's
Amok,
that?
and
Out of
Vera
interest?
Respawn. They are Clipper, Dayfox, Keyboard Willy, and Heavy. No, I don't know who any of those are.
I do remember. I do recognize Dayfox. I think he's a long-time community member, but I think that's about it.
I think I've seen him in the Discord. I do believe.
Yes,
But
that rings a bell.
yeah, I think I haven't. They're probably a new one.
Yeah.
Oh god, it's not that.
I don't care, doggy. So come back here, doggy. I love
Well, if you don't wanna talk about the wonderful night you had last night, I can say that I'm maybe getting a new microphone.
Ooh,
So
very
excited
nice.
spaceship.
Very good.
Doggy.
because it's like a
Your mics are always good.
That's not me.
lovely. It's like a vintage one. They stopped making them in 2003. It's a
Oh wow.
a CAD E100, not E100S,
Okay,
but
nice.
E100.
Nice.
I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be great, but it is very expensive.
Yeah, that is the only downside for good mics. They do get quite pricey quite quickly.
They can, but this is used because, of course, they don't sell them anymore.
Yes. Yeah.
So it is used, so it's a little less pricey, but I think it was still around a couple $100.
So, out of interest, have we got the brackets up just so we can run through the how the other teams have done in the first round?
Let's see. It should be in here somewhere.
Famous last words.
I hope I don't die from clicking this link. Oh, there we go. Let's see. Participants matches. First groups, latest results. Okay, yeah. So, Amok. Oh, so we are just here and VR Respawn are both still playing their match. So we haven't actually seen who. We haven't actually seen who won that yet.
So it's the two games that are running simultaneously today. It's just those two. So we'll just be waiting now for the match with the Respawn and Find. I'm going to call them. We'll just wait for that to finalise before we'll be able to get into the next match, which I would guess will be Amok
versus Find.
Find. Okay, Find. Amok Find. Okay. Oh yeah, because it's round robin. So the teams have already been. The matchups have already been pre-allocated. So.
Yeah, exactly.
It is deep.
So.
There we go. Thank you very much. I was literally just looking for that.
Nice. Oh, oh my god. I am very sorry. My voice is not the best today either. Because I was screaming yesterday because I was watching X Factor.
Oh. Were you?
Yeah. Well, I live in a like there's I think it's called a commune. So we're like a bunch of people that live together.
Yeah.
And we have a like a combined kitchen and also like just
that's
everywhere
very nice.
room. So we just kind of watch X Factor every night or every Friday.
That's sweet.
It's
Yeah,
an excuse to
sounds
get
fun.
together and drink, but
Yes,
it is
that.
quite fun.
See, I don't need an excuse. I just do it.
Never sounded more like an alcoholic than just now.
Well, I mean, yeah. I'm not going to deny nor confirm these facts. I mean facts, not facts. Yeah, my brain fart. Right. So, what are we expecting to see in some of the upcoming matches? Then I think, especially from, obviously, I think the peak game for us today will be the Respawn Amok. So we're going to get to see Amok go up against Find just before that match. So it looks like I don't know. I'm interested to see how Amok holds up. If Amok provides the same kind of pressure against just here, so we don't get fined. I think they should be quite comfortable with that. I did see the Ducky actually one thing I did really like that I saw in the last match was actually Stoty and Flusher's pincer maneuver there, and actually using the stack and stacking round to provide pressure from a different position, and that kind of puts the other team on a position or the enemy team somewhere where they need to basically have their head on the swivel because they need to be watching their back and their front at just the same amount of time. So it's a really hard position to be put in. So I want to see them do more of that. I think I want to see more of that, and also really like the aggressive defense from them as well, going to the opponents as opposed to just waiting for the opponents to kind of make their way towards them, which I did really like.
And we've also seen a I don't know what it's called, a double stack. We've seen that quite a bit, where it's just like you have two basically groups of two, and they just kind of stick together and make sure they can boost, make sure they can like heal or face out to distract or have a stun or whatever. Having that, I think, is really risky. Because a one stun can just take them out, as we almost saw. We almost saw one stun get take two of them out, but it just didn't quite do it.
The one problem with that, though, well, I do agree that by grouping up like that, you do put yourself in a really bad position to potentially get Arc Mind or double stunned. Arc Mind's even more dangerous, arguably, for that. The only upside is that because you are two-man stacked, if your reaction speeds are fast enough, you should really not be able to get caught at all, because as a two-man stack, you have the ability to move around very fast, very quickly, and change direction again very rapidly. So really, in the position where you get a stun mine thrown at you, if the two-man stacks are fast enough, they should be able to actually outmaneuver the stun itself. just by throwing off in the right direction and re-grabbing correctly. It's now that said, actually, it's a really hard skill to master in terms of
It is.
It's not necessarily just the regrabs; it's the ability to regrab and change directions at almost a 90-degree plus angle, which is actually the really hard thing, because you basically need to be telepathically connected with the other person you're stacking with to the point where you can hold your hand in a position where you know you're going to get the grab, and you know where the other person's thinking about throwing off to. So it's not easy at all to do, but once you can do it, as we now see with some of the Echo Arena players, the advantage you get from that is just abhorrent. It's just it's really, really strong. Yeah.
It is definitely what I would describe as a maneuver. It's not a thing that you like, because you don't have time to say it. You just have time to sort of think it and know that the other person's thinking it too, and then just do it.
Yeah.
It's not really a thing that you can kind of plan out. You just have to be really, really good at it.
Yeah, exactly.
Just as you have to be really good at boosting, because boosting is just there as an option always. If there's two people, you just have to know, okay, the one coming towards the other is the one grabbing, and this is how we do it. And these are the things. So it is very, very, very tough, and I'm unfortunately a little bit disappointed in the sort of, I was going to say state of combat. I think that's a little bit rough.
A bit harsh.
But sort of the state of movement in combat, because I feel like it's less... It's a lot slower.
I think the thing is with that, though, and I think this kind of comes down to what we were saying the other day, where the kind of the core skills that we talked about in terms of having these kind of strategies that turn into core skills as things develop. Now, I would say that is one of those exact kind of instances where right now, that the concept of that to a lot of the players that haven't played Echo Arena is one that will not be drilled down into as like a core mechanic for them. That's an absolute required necessity for some time. So what that means is that things like that requires such a level of kind of precision that has been developed in Echo Arena over a year, 2 years now, I think, is probably not going to make its way. So it's 2 years. It's probably not going to make its way into, I think, live play, apart from some of the top Echo Arena teams coming across, or to some extent, and having some Echo Arena players there, which is I think it's just the prerequisites for that skill are so high that it's going to take some time before teams make it there, essentially, just because of how difficult that is to do and to pull off.
Yeah, and it's just,
the thing is, though, once it does come into play, I think you're going to see a massive jump in mobility, because then it will become a requirement, because the teams that do it will be able to far outpace the teams that don't. And I think that that's something that's going to just add to and develop. I mean, again, you'll see it. There's the teams like Kangarillas, the Respawn to some extent as well, and also Eclipse and the developer team when they played. Again, in those matches, you could see how pivotal the boosting was, and the ability to boost and regrab in multiple different directions very quickly without really much thought. Kind of that was quite a big part of their advantage, essentially. And I think that although we might not have seen much of that recently, I think we're going to continue to see that develop. And I think movement as a whole, in kind of as its importance in Echo Combat, will gradually start to increase as teams get better at it. Because I think that's one of the big things that outside of strategy, I think that's kind of one of the more important skill-based challenges that are there in the future of combat.
Yeah, we've sort of weaved our way into this point and gone over it a lot. The state of combat right now is very, very new. It is a very new game. Yeah, it's been out for what, a couple of months, 2 months, maybe 3 months. It is very, very, very new. And even though there's been a lot of playtime, we still have, like, it takes time. It takes a lot of time for a meta and a lot of time for fundamentals, as we've talked about, to develop.
Yeah, and I think another big thing as well is the meta is defined largely in tournaments as well. So we are, as we're kind of been doing the community, the Community Cup for the last couple of weeks, including the Discord Cup for Payload, and I think that we are beginning to see the outline of a meta, but I think we're probably going to see a lot sharper growth when Season 3 kicks off. I think when that inevitably comes, which we all know it is, touch wood, that please God, but let it come. I think we all know that I think the engagement to some extent will rapidly increase, and I think alongside that, so will the push for teams to kind of improve and get better faster.
Yeah.
Because that's where real money goes on the line, and there's suddenly a very big incentive for teams to be the best. And I think we're going to see more of that as time progresses. So right now, I think this is really off season essentially. I'd categorize this as off season.
It is.
Because, well, yeah, we're outside of the season play. But I think we're starting to see the foundations of this still new game starting to kind of set some roots, but I would say that there's going to be a lot of change and development. So for anyone that is interested in combat, now is kind of the perfect time to get into it, because really this is like the perfect moment where I'm just getting distracted by you playing with a melon. This will be the perfect time to get into it, because there's lots of opportunity. There's lots of opportunities to kind of get involved with teams that are starting to be formed now. And if you consider that when Season 3 starts, if it starts, it's going to be starting. When it starts, yes, tomorrow, knowing yourself.
Right now.
Yes, it's actually started 20 minutes ago. You better hurry. No, I think once you, for anyone that does want to get into it now, if you can get into it right now before it gets to kind of that next stage of being in live play, you'll also get your foot in the door as kind of one of the earlier players, because I'm expecting there to be a lot of interest and to be a lot more players that will be looking for teams but might not necessarily have the skills required. So it's a really good time to get into it, really.
Yeah, and as we said before, like, you don't have to be good to be on a team. You just have to play. And because right now you really don't have to be good, because a lot of people aren't that good. So you just play and just develop. It takes time, but the most important part of being on a team is playing. For sure. I think we might be getting into our next match.
Okay, do we have results from the last game? Yeah.
No, we're not. I think they might have some. Either they have some.
Oh yes. Okay. So
or
it looks like V.
Oh, there we go.
V. Yep. So V Respawn was able to take that first round from just here, so we don't get fined. Don't know exactly what the result was. Oh no, so it was a 2-0 from V Respawn. So quite dominant wins on both sides of the ladder at the moment. However, I think we may continue to see that for this round, and then following on from that, I'd expect to see that for this round. But it would be good to again see how AMOC handles this and what their ideas are, because although the kind of newer teams might not necessarily be as skilled, it does give AMOC an opportunity to kind of show off their strategies in the exact way they are intending to use them, because you don't really, there's kind of perfect execution to some extent when you're using some of these strategies against teams that aren't prepared for it. So it will be nice to see kind of more of what they can show us.
Yeah, and I don't think we're going to be seeing, like, if they have some hidden strategies, I don't think we're going to be seeing them in a match versus a really, really new team, because I think they're a new team, and I don't think they're a permanent one.
Mm-hmm. I think although I'm not sure, I don't think Echo Combat has got advanced enough yet for hidden strategies to have that kind of impact that you would expect in something like Echo Arena. So if you're Echo Arena, for example, if you were to pull out like a secret strategy in the middle of a tournament, that would usually get you quite a good way and would be a pretty big deal, because if it's that a powerful strategy and no one's come up with it yet, it shakes up the meta quite a bit. However, I don't think Combat's advanced enough to really necessarily have a meta to some extent. So I think it's just getting there. So I doubt any hidden strategies would be implemented yet. Although I think that could change as we get into next season.
It could, and it probably will, because it is not that advanced yet, and Echo Combat is weird to make strategies for because there's so much extra control you have to keep in mind. Like you can go from up top. You can't really do that in regular FPS games. You can't.
Yeah,
just
you've
say,
got
hey,
you've got every axis to work with basically. So it's very different from a lot of other games because funny enough, the 2D games that do attempt to integrate like the multiple axis of movement, so all those different, obviously you can move in any direction, X, Y, Z. Then they've usually actually been really hard to control, which is one of the downsides of them. Yet Echo Arena, Echo Combat provide a platform where movement is so natural and is arguably, I think, one of the best movement systems in VR, like hands down.
Yeah, for sure.
Just because after a short amount of time, you can get it to the point where you feel it just feels like an extension of your own bodily movement. There is no using an analog stick or anything like that. It is literally just your own physical movements that make up the play. So that I think is a huge differentiator for this, and that's why it makes this kind of multiple axis of movement so accessible and so easy to control.
And I think I've said this before. Okay, I don't know what Nat is doing. I think I've said this before. In that Echo VR seems to be the only actual VR game.
We don't really care about what map we'll play, by the way.
What I mean by that is, of course, there are a lot of VR games, but this is the only one that actually uses all the things that VR can offer, or most of them.
Yeah.
In that, I would say Onward is a pretty fun game. It feels like a ported.
So is it for Stody, I think, at the moment.
What? Okay.
Yeah,
it feels like a ported, like sort of pancake game, as we usually call them.
Yeah, I think as you say, I think like for me personally, my own kind of where I stand on VR games, because obviously we develop VR applications ourselves, and we've kind of got our developer ethos that I kind of live by, which is with VR, the titles that are most successful and the best movement and interaction systems are the ones that understand the limitations of VR, but actually play to all of its strengths. So they don't try and kind of jerry-rig anything that isn't going to work perfectly or have a succinct kind of one-to-one element in terms of how it works. So I think that there's the titles like Echo Arena, Echo VR, the navigation system, how you move around, boost, to interact with other people. But then also, if you take Beat Saber as another great example where there is no movement, because in VR, without kind of movement systems like Echo Arena, it's a very hard thing to absolutely use all of your controls, essentially. So I think the two titles, for me, are kind of shining examples of developers going, let's just use all the tools we have available to us, just all the tools we have, and let's not try and kind of cram in anything that doesn't work perfectly with VR.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just a what, I don't know. It's just, you know, there's a lot of VR games out there that are just a regular game and then a camera you can control with your head.
Yeah. Oh, are we getting? It looks like, are we already in? It looks like they're.
Yeah, we're in. Well, in a little bit. I think one team is ready, one team is not. I'll have to change the team names to. I think Find is fine. That one. Fine. They will be fined. There we go. Oh, that's an Italian.
What? Wait, who's that? Is that Flush?
That's Flush.
Yeah.
They have done that dance, I think, every cup.
What is the dance?
Can you see that like going around? I don't know how they do it.
I don't. No, but I don't get the dance. I don't understand what it is. Is it like, what's he?
Well, I feel like we should have some music for it.
Yeah,
Real good music.
Oh, we can't because copyright. Maybe you can sing something.
Oh, I can't. I don't. I can sing If I Were a Rich Man. That's not really dance music, though.
Probably not. So actually, let's just while we wait for the next match to kick off, let's just go through the players that we've got on these two teams. So I think as we said before, we've got quite a relatively new blue team over here.
Yeah.
I think they are in the process of trying to get all their team members to ready up. There, it looks like they're having a chat.
Seem to be having
Which again,
some
do you know what?
technical issues.
I love this. The fact that this is possible in Echo Arena, and this is why I love Echo so much, is because you can literally see their body language and how they're communicating to each other, and it just looks like you're watching a group of people just having a chat. It's so strange, and then it's like the IK that exists for Echo is so good. Obviously, not when you take your controllers out, but as we can see from Flush there. However, okay, no, it looks like we're getting into the game.
We are getting into the game here, and it is, yeah, of course, Kipper, I think we don't really know them, we haven't seen them in any cups before, so I think the favorites here, because they also lost against Via Respawn, favorites here are AMOG.
Yeah, but I will be very interested to see if Find can pull anything out of the bag that could disrupt AMOG's play, which would be very interesting to see.
They are going in 3 people, though. No, 4 people are going in very split out. That is not what you want. Not even a single point of damage was done to AMOG in that first assault. Now, a little bit has been done by the sniper in the enemy tower here. 2 snipers, actually. One with a meteor. But that is just very tough. One player will actually get killed out. It's 3v3. Make that 2v3 now.
Some good work on the meteor there from Stoty. Meteor is famously a very unwieldy weapon to use. So it's it's very much you capitalize, you benefit the most from it. Oh, actually, I'm liking that hidden position there from Blue. That was interesting. Although it looks like
a threat scanner though, so that was very.
Oh, was he? Okay. Yeah.
They are getting killed out here. But yeah, as we saw, the start point here, AMOG seemed to have actually been losing a little bit, but they just kind of waited out. They made sure that, you know, we don't need to take the point right now. Just have them set up, really think about their positions, and then just attack when we have 4 people. They did that, and they are now a full team.
Oh, lovely shot from Stoty there. That was great.
Pretty good. But yeah, Find are... I have not updated. Find are very separated. So that is I think it's going to be the downfall if they don't fix that now.
Some fantastic shots from Flush here on the Comet as well. Generally, I'm very impressed with AMOG's play today. It's just been very good. Although I'm not sure about that retreat. That was quite risky there, and it looks like Blue are actually going to take the point.
They're actually going to take it. That's pretty interesting, and they are really aggressive. Find here. They are, however, also playing against an AMOG. We haven't really seen a very long-range focused AMOG. I think only Ducky here has a shotgun. No, sorry, Ducky and Devil has a shotgun. The 2 others only have long-range weapons, which are not something we're used to seeing.
Okay, so the AMOG able to get a nice pick there, and they are going to start punishing the defenders. Although this is looking like.
What is happening here?
Okay, so they are getting a couple of eliminations. It just seems they can't get these 2 on the bottom. Okay, no, they're getting the kills now. It looks like they're going to pull this out. Yeah,
they're getting it a little bit. And I do think, from what I remember, Dave Fox, Kipper are North American players, so they do have either a little bit of an advantage or a little bit of a disadvantage. No matter what anyone says, I will keep holding on to ping is so bad to like be on the opposite end of in Echo, in Echo Combat. Not because there's anything wrong with like the ping differences or anything, but just because it is crucial that you need like pinpoint aim where you think they're gonna be, and it's very tough to do with ping.
Fantastic push here from Blue Team. Actually, that was a great little push. I don't know if it was intentional, but they all have a little ballet dance over here.
Just luckily saving that Flush, man.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was intentional, but they sent a player in with a shotgun to kind of disrupt them, and then they capitalized on the ensuing kind of confusion there, following that bad push from that player. Though I don't quite know what the purpose of that was intended to be. Oh, what a shot!
Oh my God, Blue Team is just really going at it. It is now 2v2 here. 2v1, so it looks like they will take the point, but it's still really even, 65 to 67%. It's weird. I think, yeah, the kind of go in and distract them while we shoot them down from the outside with meteors or with anything, that is quite a strong play. Even
Great,
though that-
great push there from Orange there. I love that 3-mana pressure, keeping one on the point to keep the pressure on, and then pushing that external player with a 3-man stack. Fantastic, fantastic play there.
Yeah. Oh, they all will get killed out except for one who's just going in all by himself.
Yeah.
Now they're kind of falling apart a little bit. They were so strong in the beginning, though.
They
Really,
did,
really,
yeah.
Like, just play together. But yeah, this is a strategy that works in cups. This don't work here.
Yeah, unfortunately, against an organized team, they want to stagger your spawns. So if you are feeding into their hands in terms of always giving them an advantage in terms of the player versus player count, it's extremely hard to work with. I mean, even if you are hiding from them, and if you're using phase to hide from the threat scanner, and you're trying to kind of get up in a good, advantageous position, as we saw last week happen quite a few times on payload, that ended up some of those players ended up swinging some of the points like really heavily.
Yeah.
But even if you're doing that, you still need to wait for your team to respawn before you go in, because you need to be able to capitalize on the damage you do. And if you don't, then they'll end up doing basically the damage will mean nothing, which at the end of the day is not good enough in terms of being able to capitalize on these plays.
Yeah. We are seeing them going in here again. Again, very, very disjointed in the start. They're not attacking as one team, which is kind of odd because they were so strong as a team just beforehand, but now they're getting kind of killed out one by one here.
Yeah, I'm not sure if
One-killed
this is
devil.
intentional. They're trying to... The problem is, although this applies to both teams actually, they are killing maybe one person at a time, and then they're staggering each other's spawns. It just seems to be that Amok is doing a better job of re-timing up their spawns, or healing up, essentially. So it's great push here again from Amok. This is that's the exact kind of play we want to see.
It is, and they are, I mean, it looks like Find are doing a fine job.
Yep.
They are, I think
Find
Amok
are doing
just
great.
play together as a team more. I would
Oh,
actually
good-
very
good
much
job.
like to see Find kind of continue on. I hope they're not just a random semi-permanent team. I hope they're actually doing a little bit more with it, because they have some really interesting ideas.
Good punishment there, good punishment. So it looks like Find are going to take the point again. This is a good push from them.
They're all 4 alive versus, I think, 2 people from Amok. So yeah, they are going to have to stay back a little bit, wait for the other 2 of their team to spawn, while not getting killed themselves. But people are going on in behind here, and he isn't actually seen. Oh, let's see if we can find him. Ah, damn, I just missed it. Yeah, he will get killed out while getting no kills, so it's a 4v3, I think. 3v3
Unlucky
here.
there. It just popped the heal just the last second after he died, so it was unfortunate. Blue have got really strong positioning on this point, though. They are doing a great job of holding this out.
And we do see the double stack here, and someone just kind of hiding up at the top. It
Oh,
is a...
Stokey.
Oh.
Blue are doing a really good job holding this point now. I think Orange, Amok are struggling to get back onto this.
That is quite interesting. I'm not sure why Via Respawn was so strong against this team. They might have developed a specific strategy that just counters this strategy really well without really noticing it. But Amok is struggling quite a bit. They don't seem to be really being as strong
They're
as
getting
they
some
usually are.
conversions here, though. That was a good distraction from up high, and then the push from down low simultaneously from, I believe that was Ducky. Was a great play there. They were able to kind of get them looking one way and then get them with the sucker punch from down low. And I think actually you'll find that Ducky or Derval did the majority of the damage in that last play there as well from the shotgun on the ground.
Yeah. Take a look at the stats in a little bit. Oh, one person going in there.
Oh, good.
Again.
So you can see Amok smell blood as soon as they saw a player out of position, and they you could see them just go get him now.
Yeah.
So that's great play from them.
But that's the weird thing, because we see these weird out of position plays here like that. This is just, you know, Amok collapsing on a single player. Not really fair, but...
Oh, they've got to
we
get
see
back
these-
onto the point, though.
Yeah, these slightly out of position plays from what's otherwise a really, really structured team. Find is doing really, really well, but they do seem to have that... They let the mentality get to them, and they let the sort of pressure get to them. And as we go up to 90% here versus 83, it is looking very strong for Amok. They've already won the first round. They just need to hold on for a couple more seconds. I do believe they will. Yeah.
Yep.
Fine.
That was, I have to say, those games were actually a lot closer than I was expecting. Fine did a really good job of holding off AMOC at a number of positions there, and I think it seemed to be that the times where Fine kind of fell apart a little bit was when they allowed AMOC to stagger their spawns too much, and then they fell into that kind of pitfall of going in one at a time rather than regrouping, which is easy to do, especially if you tilt in some way, shape, or form. It's just you just end up running into fire. So the AMOC again did really good there. I think deserved the win off the back of that one. They had some really good strategies and great pressure off the point, which I liked from Flush and Stoty there, which was really handy.
Ooh. I don't know what's happening. This was, of course, only the first round. This is a best of 3, and it's a little bit confusing because the capture points are also best of 3, but this is a best of 3 where each round is one map. This is only the first round.
It's a best of 3, and it's a round robin best of 3, best of 3. That's what this is.
It's a best of 3 of 3.
No,
that's completely untrue.
Just
I am very much awake right now.
Oh.
There we go. So it does sound like either we're going to switch map or we're probably going to switch host. So host privilege will go to either one of the teams. I don't actually know who had the host privileges before, but it will probably switch to the other one since I think these players are North American. But I am hoping actually to see a little bit of combustion because we haven't seen that, and I quite like that map. I've been kind of just going over the maps, just kind of admiring them a little bit, and I think Combustion is a really well-designed map. And a lot of thought put into it, and it has some interesting features that I think really help it, like give it another layer of strategic depth. So I hope we see this now, and I hope we see Fine do well on it, because they have pulled out some weird things that we haven't really seen before from a completely new team. So I'm looking forward to see what they can do on Combustion, if we get there.
Yep. I do think, I believe the general player consensus is that everyone really likes Dyson.
Yeah.
I think Dyson is a fantastically balanced map with lots of great open space, which is something that we haven't really had with kind of Echo Arena, or traditionally with Echo. So having that kind of big open dome, essentially, has been really nice. I think a lot of the players have really liked that. Because I think it allows for a lot of play and boosting and space that isn't necessarily possible on the other maps, which again, it's a slightly different type of Echo, really. But I think Combustion is a far more standard, very similar to the Payload map in terms of its kind of enclosed spaces and design. However, I think the general consensus is the players are like a little bit hesitant on how much they like. I think it's got a couple of the kind of play it promotes generally favors less of around the team play and more around kind of individual play potential, basically.
Yeah.
That seems to be what it is.
And that the point of Combustion is just so open, but there's also a lot of small. I think the developers actually call them geo around, just the small kind of bits of terrain.
Yep.
Okay, it is Dyson that you can hold on to, and it does promote a lot more individual strategy, but I still do quite enjoy it because it has the tunnels, which I think are a fantastic thing that we don't see in the other maps really.
All of the maps I think have great like little design considerations about they've all got their own little kind of perks basically. Which is really nice, and I love that each of them have like their own character in terms of the style of play that's kind of required on each one. I do think they're obviously kind of it does. The hard thing really, obviously, from a balancing perspective, especially for the Payload map, though, is trying to balance the level design and level layout to equally favour the attack and defense. So far, it seems to be quite favoured on the attack. However, then we may get some changes along the lines to help the defensive side, because I think the key thing you want for all of these games is to kind of not have it too back and forth, essentially. So not to have it on too much of a swing, and to kind of allow for teams to actually make plays to lock in kind of defensive rounds as well.
Yeah, and one thing I'd like to see is actually neutral launch rings. I think that would be
yeah.
really, really good on the payload map specifically. Only with that one.
That'd be
So
cool.
it is Dyson again here. Fine, going on straight into the point. Oh, that is yeah. Again, we've talked about this before. You don't need to do that at all. And you don't need to attack a sniper head on. That is a very risky maneuver. But he will actually pull off a little bit of damage.
Now-
Not enough. Both will get killed out. So.
Now, I don't know if that was intentional play there, but I feel like Amok actually baited Find to come and pressure them. I think they sent one player out as to pretend to be a sniper, and then had two players hidden behind a block next to them, so that when they pressured the sniper, they immediately capitalized on that and crushed them on a 3v2. Which I think is like, I think that was an intentional play, which is a really nice little, again, is a little strategies like this where you're able to capitalize and get these kills and stagger the spawns, which they've done again.
Yeah, and I think that the staggered spawn are more a fault of Find than it is a boon of Amok, because they really put that on themselves and they only had to wait 2 or 3 seconds. You should really have waited that. But Amok just boosting out, just grabbing a kill for themselves. 3 on point now. It's going to be a little bit more difficult.
Fine, sorry.
Oh, no problem at all. But yeah, the sniper flush is really, really doing work. I think he's found a little bit of his calling. He might need a little, just a little bit training, but he is hitting most of his shots. He will get killed out. Amok. Wow, what is happening? I really wish we had a, you know what, I can actually make that happen. Just have a lot more of a overview. Because a lot of things are happening at once.
I think nice kind of, it seems to be nice to strategy to some extent, is go in like really hard and fast, cause a lot of chaos, and then try and capitalize on it. Like that seems to be what they're doing. And when they do kind of do throw, great pressure there from Amok though.
Yeah, they again, as you said before, they just saw an out of position play and just took him out. He was trying to get it on point. Probably spawned the wrong place. What the? Okay, Dayfox, that's not what you want to do.
Great play from here great play here from Amok here, pressuring onto the point. Standard play. Yeah, they're gonna get a kill. They've got 2 people to deal with though. Shotguns on the point.
They have 3 shotguns on point. This is we've seen kind of a min-maxed sort of loadout here, because Flush Gogo has the sniper and everybody else has shotguns, and I don't actually like that strategy.
Well, I disagree. I think this is a strategy in terms of countering what Find are doing right now in terms of trying to startle them, going in really hard and fast. Shotgun works really well against that. So I actually think it's not a bad strategy in this case. I do agree that running 3 shotguns and a sniper wouldn't always work, and don't try this in pubs. However, if you're playing against a team where they are relying on these kind of rush plays where they're putting a lot of people into you very quickly, and you can't really do the same staggered healing and meteor plays, then Shotgun's fine. Shotgun's fine against that. Although it looks like
very, very good. I would probably prefer to see the meteor here and still pushing in. A lot of stuns coming out. Is this the beta again? Because holy hell, that was a lot of them. So Stody trying to just, Dayfox trying to push in.
Fantastic play from Amok there all round. I think that as of a round was so much more solid than the last round.
Thank you to whoever made that name. It's great. I don't agree.
Who's that? Wait, where did that come up?
I'm gonna guess that was Ducky.
Oh,
just gonna guess.
How do they even do that? Wait, no, you can do it in the console, can't you?
No. That if you like take your own team name and edit it will always stay that way.
Oh, right. Okay, that's hilarious.
So if you're on the team that wins and no one else has a team name, it will always stay that way. So it just says orange and blue team, or just insulting all the viewers.
Yeah,
and
real helpful. Cheers, Ducky. But no, generally speaking, great play first round. We're now getting into the second round of this.
Oh yeah, again we see these very, very sort of. Okay, 2 players hadn't really spawned in yet. That's quite interesting.
I think they did spawn. I think they spawned in and died, and then they came back. So I think that was actually them respawning. Can we just get a wide-angle view on the map just quickly? Yeah, perfect.
Oh, the keyboard Willy. Not good.
So We're seeing, yeah, so blue are trying to, again, find a just, what do I keep wanting to call them? Nice. Find a just, kind of spread out around the map, trying to cause as much chaos and panic as possible, and then trying to capitalize out on kills. Good rubber banding there from them, though, to, like, pull in some orange players towards them and actually cause some damage. They might be able to capture the point at this rate, although they are falling behind.
Flush just killing people left and right, dropping names with his sniper. He is doing a fantastic job. I think a lot of the work is really on Flush's shoulders.
Yeah, Flush is a very good player. I think arguably one of the best European players that we've got at the moment.
Yeah,
I just think, generally speaking, he's been good all-round play style and has been very effective in terms of his ability to
surviving that stun.
Yeah, exactly. It just shows. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, this is what I want to see, actually. A lot more of an aggressive sort of play style, a lot more of an aggressive...
Oh, look at that insta-heal grenade. That was so strong.
That was actually pretty good.
It just instantly got a couple of their members that were on a third health back up to almost full straight away. And they, as soon as they got that off, the heal layering for Amok is just, it's disgusting. It's just that good.
It is, and I mean, it's just really good utilization of the mechanics, really, because it's not like they're doing anything like amazingly new. They're just doing a thing that we know is good.
They're doing it very effectively. That's the main thing.
So all four players of Amok are alive here. Not really anyone getting killed out. Just Fine seem to have hit their peak. They seem to have hit their climax.
Yeah.
And they're just sort of petering off.
Yeah. I think Amok have kind of figured out what Fine's strategy was about, and I think their switch to shotguns sniper has like really hard countered that. Like I think that's just crushed it. And again, they're kind of staggered spawned now, and they're just kind of coming in one at a time. So yeah, it's not looking good. Thanks, Ducky.
As Yubi said, I don't know if it is Ducky.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and blame Ducky. Because I mean that's what Discord does, right? That's what we should do. Everyone should do. Something's wrong. Blame Ducky.
All the time. All the time. No, we love you, Ducky. Ducky's actually the primary reason that we have the. He
is actually. So although we do give him shit, he is actually one of the main reasons why combat is having so many cups and why the cups are actually going well. Funnily enough, now thinking back, I don't remember the last time we had that many technical issues with one of the combat cups, which is strange.
That was before you sort of casted.
Oh yes, true. No, that actually was.
We have had them, and I think. Yeah,
maybe I'm just good luck. Maybe I'm just good luck.
Maybe. I mean, the first Community Cup I was in, that was a 3-hour stream, and I think I streamed one game.
Wow. Okay.
That was awful.
Teething problems.
But everything's actually going really.
So should
really
we
good.
just?
Oh.
Yeah. So just to surmise. Oh, sorry. I'll restart my chat.
Join again here.
Joining.
Okay, so it looks like based on that round, so Amok will take the win against Find, and V Respawn will go off and also take their match in their game against Mildcard 2-0 as well. So it's been 2-0s across the board. So this next match should be one of the best of the day.
Hopefully.
No, you will. Absolutely, it's going to happen. This is the hype match.
Well played, you guys.
Can Amok pull back from the win, the loss they suffered last week on the payload map? That's the question.
Maybe. I really hope they can. So what were you saying, Debbie? I don't know. I need to find someone.
I need an adult.
If anyone's an adult and single, contact me.
Oh god. Jeez.
Where is everyone? Did they just...
I sat in a chair alone. Not a chair, but I laid down. It was great.
Have you been smoking 15 a day?
Maybe just a little bit more than 15.
Okay. So I'll just try and get in that game.
Okay, so for everyone that's watching, the next match up will be Amok versus V Respawn, which is going to be the most contested match of the day. We've been following Amok throughout the brackets today against Fine and against Mildcard. The thing is, I'm really happy what I've seen from Amok today. Actually, I'm excited to see this next match because I think that if Amok can take in some of what they've done against those kind of newer teams, and they can implement that against V Respawn, I think this should be a very, very good match.
Yeah, and they've also just been practicing, and as we saw, oh, there we go, there's Ducky. Hey, Ducky, could you invite me to the new party, or get someone to invite me to the new party?
I gotta work in a little bit here.
Time? Lag.
Yeah, I wish I could
Delay?
be able to play on some of these.
You're on the bench. No.
It's the first time I tried to.
Nothing's happening. Okay.
What is he trying to communicate?
I don't know.
Pretty competitive.
See, Ducky, for anyone that doesn't know, Ducky doesn't talk. He just communicates in quacks
He was muted
most of the
from
time.
birth.
99% of the time. He only opens his voice comms for, like, private
Hi.
matches.
Ducky, can you get me invited to the game? You can get me invited? Great, thank you. There we go. Oh.
Okay, cool. So we should be getting into game any moment now.
Okay. There we go. So. I've actually been thinking quite a bit about the Payload Cup. Oh, there we
Yes.
Matchmaking failed.
go. Oh, shit. Oh yeah, no, that's not the way. This is the way.
Yes.
Oh god, Jesus. Doing this while sitting down is
You are no
really,
longer
really
muted.
tough. Thank you, Ducky.
So we should be getting into the game any moment now.
Yeah, when it's set up, we should get into it. No.
So what? Remembering what? So again, let's just do a little reminder as to who the players are going to the next match. I think it would be good to cover those off.
It is VR Respawn versus. It is VR Respawn consists of Vidman, Vexy, Casnas, and Codsworthless. And Amok consists of Flush Go-Go, Derval, Stoti, Ducky, and Betsuga. We haven't seen Betsuga yet. I think he usually plays Combustion, whereas Ducky usually plays Dyson. And as we've only seen Dyson, we've only seen Ducky.
Now that said, actually, just looking at the V Respawn team, I believe this is quite a different team from the one they played last week. Am I correct in thinking that?
I don't
The
think
Payload
you are.
Cup? No. Am I wrong? I
think
could very well
you
be
are
wrong.
wrong.
Is it the same team?
I think it's the same team.
Okay, because I
they've
don't
made
recognize.
any.
Big
Kangaroos
Man,
have
I
made
think.
some changes, I think. Have a good match,
Okay.
guys. But, yeah,
Well, ignore me then. I am talking absolute garbage. As with everything I do.
I was about to say, yeah. What's the news?
God damn it. Right, okay, so this should be a great match. I'm looking forward to this. I don't know what we're going to see out of V Respawn because obviously we haven't been watching them today. I do have a good idea of what we're going to see out of Amok. I think that if they can keep up the pressure that they were putting into the game on the last two matches, this should be a really nice one to watch.
I think. Oh.
So we man down on both team at the moment.
No, we're not, which is weird. Because we're seeing 4 people right here. Okay.
Yes, that is strange. Okay,
We're getting a new
Could be-
spectator mode. It's currently kind of being implemented.
Oh, there they are. There
There are some bugs. Just so we know.
Yes, more visuals to go with our visuals, which will be very visual.
That'd be great. Yeah, 'cause we currently can't see the wonderful visuals that someone in the stream has made. Thank you, Jesse, again.
That's no problem at all.
But yeah, we can't see all that. We have to kind of look over the stream to remember the team names because we constantly forget because we talk a lot.
Yes, that's what we do. We talk.
Oh
That's pretty
god,
much what we do.
Stoti.
Oh, Flush, stop. No, Stoti that time. It wasn't Flush. Okay, so we are, I believe, on Dyson again. So this is basically going to be a Dyson Cup, I believe. So it's looking that way. So it'll be interesting to see how the two teams stagger. So they are taking their time coming out at this point. Looks like they're going in pairs for
VR
to start.
Respawn, however, is not. They are just pushing all the way into
All the way up to the tubes, yeah.
That is a very, very aggressive hold. I'm not sure I agree with it at all. It's not very beneficial to be there, as you're still just in the tube, just in a position where you can't really retract at all. You can't go back. Very, very aggressive play here. Let's see if it pays off. We have
I think you
couple
see
snipers.
Flush moving over to a good position over there, trying to get some shots in. They've got
someone
blue
going
players
up
pushing
here.
up aggressively.
We'll get a
He
single
is going to
kill
get the
off.
kill.
Well, Flush might be getting killed too here. Oh, that shotgun is not working on long
Oh,
range.
man.
He will not get the kill on. This is 2v3 here. 2v2, excuse me. And yeah, there we go. The Arc Mine, the fabulous Arc Mine coming out and just kind of being there, making sure that every time somebody goes over here, you are in a constantly good position. But AMOC, while I talk, they just play, and they play well. Just going in with the shotguns, just cleaning out.
Yeah, they did a really good job there. I think V Respawn were a little bit kind of broken up at the start, and I think the save on Flush there was actually a really big deal because that allowed them then to push into the point. Although they are holding quite deep now, they are going to get another kill though. Looks like they're going to be holding on to this point quite successfully. They're getting pressured from up high on the outer circle, and then again, although they're sending someone straight to him, already taking him out. And although he will give up his life for that in a 1-for-1 trade. Oh no, not a 1-for-1 trade.
Oh, it's a 4v3 here as V Respawn just kind of pushes in, takes people out one by one, sits on the point, just doing their business a little bit here. V Respawn did take quite a long time. What is happening here? That's a shield.
Oh, good kill there. That's a really good kill.
I don't want to say that was a good kill. That was just someone not understanding a shield.
I meant more along the lines of... I know, because you can still shoot through that. So I think it was more along the lines of... Yeah, so I think it was more along the lines of the time that he killed him was very, very well timed. That's what I'm trying to say.
That was completely my mistake there. But AMOC just kind of sitting idly by beside some of the players of the opposing team, not really killing them. But it is a 2v2 now. A lot of shotguns from AMOC, so they might have a little bit of an advantage here.
Okay, 1v1 now.
Oh, Kaznaz.
As I believe a comet, from Kaznaz.
That is a comment, yeah.
That was a little comet shot, just finishing that one off there.
Setting up in A. He is very, very far ahead, as opposed to Flush, who is sitting always kind of in the back with the sniper. Just like being a little bit more defensive. Kaznaz is very, very aggressive with the sniper. Also, we've seen him go very, very close with it.
Flush is moving up.
Strumpitsky here. Yeah, Flush is just moving in. Oh, the insta-heal. 3 wasted on one person almost. That was really, really a waste of utility here. Not really that good, but they will kind of sort of hold out via Respawn. Just kind of holding on just slightly.
Yeah, this is a very tight game. I think I believe AMOC are going to have one more chance to push this.
Ooh. Yeah, they do have one more chance, and they are going for it, and they will get a couple kills for themselves. But it's 1v2 now. He will get stunned and killed. I don't think he got stunned, but he did get killed. So 3v1, and that is not going to work as the timer ticks up to 100%. First round is in the back for
the first round locked out there from V Respawn. Good play from them. I think there was a couple of back and forth. I think they're doing a really good job of punishing some of AMOC's plays, and I think really what we're seeing is just a much tougher opponent for AMOC. I think that's kind of what we're seeing here compared to their other games.
Yeah.
So they're really going to be pushed to the buck in terms of converting damage to kills, and also making sure that if you kill one person, you still have 3 more to deal with. So it's not the fight doesn't stop after that one. So I think that there's been a couple of times where they've possibly given up kills that haven't been totally necessary, just because of, I wouldn't say laziness, but maybe just kind of, I wouldn't say indecisiveness either. I think it's more that they're kind of accidentally leaving or not respecting the remaining members of V Respawn in that fight.
Yeah.
So
they are really, really good players, so you should really just, even though there's one person alive, you should still be focused. even in a game versus like someone like Find, where you think, well, maybe the rounds are good, you should still always be focused, because things like this can happen.
Oh, good push here from Amok, though. They are going to get through. They're going triple shotguns into the tunnels to really punish this.
No, that was weird. No real actual destructive kills getting out. It's just a lot of damage being done to a lot of people. Snody will get eliminated, though. A really good sniper play from Kaznas. He's been doing fantastic up there. Just being constantly on supporting his team.
Kaznas was able to kind of single-handedly hold the point there just because he was able to kind of keep the damage up and keep pumping that out, which is... Oof.
Go, yeah, just going for it. That aggressive sniper, we've talked about it before, whereas the shotgun is a very, very peak efficiency, very close. The sniper is efficient at all ranges. You just have to be really good at hitting.
Yeah, I'm not seeing a huge amount of connections from Amok here, actually. There's lots of gunfire that's happening, but the only things they've seemed to be able to connect with have been shotguns from the tunnels, where it's not very easy to miss. So I hope, again, going into the tunnels, they're trying to fight their way through here. I think if they want to do this, they... Oh, good double limb there from Amok, though.
Yeah, but they are going to have to do a lot better than this, and it's already 65%. One player is on point. He will survive somehow. I'm not quite sure what happened there. He should not have survived that, but he will. But still, it's at 75%. They are already one round down. They might be one game down after this. We will see. They're going for a very, very aggressive flush. He switched to a shotgun. Won't really work out for him as Devil goes in and tries to do the same. He also can't just seem to get that kill. What is happening here? Just no conversions.
Yeah, I think Amok are struggling right now. The thing is as well that V Respawn have been going out quite static in their defense. They haven't really changed a great deal, so I'm a bit disappointed that Amok haven't been able to break that, given that it hasn't changed much. I mean, COD's worthless. Kaznas was pretty much holding the point single-handedly a couple times with that Comet. They knew it was there. They knew his position, and they knew that he was a target for a fast kind of push. But I don't think they were able to convert that at any point, which is a shame to see. But I think we should be going into another match now, and I'm hoping to see more from Amok, just to kind of at least get these games a little bit closer, because I think that wasn't particularly representative, I don't think, of where they have been playing today, because they've been playing quite well up to this match.
But I think it's kind of representative a little bit, because they are very, very static in the loadouts.
Yes,
we saw all of one change, I think, there. That was Flush Go from a sniper to a shotgun.
Yep.
That you need to be better. You need to be changing all the time. Maybe going for a phase shift, maybe going for a barrier, because both of those could really have helped them there, like specifically against the sniper.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the barrier is hugely underrated in terms of its ability to make plays, because you can stop and create an advantageous position basically anywhere, and that's actually a huge deal, because if you consider how strong a player is if they're floating in free floating compared to if they're stationed or they're on the ground, it's dramatically different. So I think that there are tools like that, and also phase shift, that I don't think we've seen enough of. And yeah, I agree. I think the loadouts from Amok there were not dynamic enough to try and deal with the situation. I think they were just trying to... It seemed a bit like they were just going to the tunnels every time they spawned and just trying to kill as many as they could. But it didn't actually, they weren't able to break through it. And I think V Respawn held a really good line there of kind of a staggered defense almost, which worked out really well for them.
That being said, V Respawn didn't change either. They had the same strategy, they had the same loadouts, they had the same thing. But the important difference here is that V Respawn's strategy or loadout or just individual playability was better. Just like straight up better, because we saw I think all of 60% total go to Amok in 2 games.
Yeah,
that's not really a lot.
I think as I said, I think both teams basically just kind of came out with the same strategy, and neither of them changed, and they're just like, let's just keep doing this until the time runs out, basically. So I hope we get to see more of some different strategies, because I think even pushing into the outer ring and then holding that line, because if you know the other team is running multiple shotguns in the tunnels, you could there are ways to counter that. I mean, you can basically force them into an area of the map
Yep.
where they have to fight you that prevents them from like making advantage of that close range combat that they get from the tunnels.
Yeah.
So I do want to hopefully see more of that, and just generally I think a bit more dynamic play from Amok.
Yeah, and I mean, just dynamic play from everyone, because we see a very, very unique feature in this game that isn't explored at all, and it is you can constantly switch your loadout. Let's say in CS:GO, you can you can switch your loadout during the game. You can find things, but it's not free. You have to work very much forward, very much forward. In Rainbow Six Siege, you cannot switch your loadout at all. In a lot of the big FPSs, this is just not a thing. Yeah, I'm way too quiet. Okay. So I would very, very much like to see them taking and saying like having a strategy based around a loadout, and saying, well, we'll all go phase, and we'll just go in and kind of kill them, go really aggressive.
Absolutely. I think. Oh, we are going to see combustion though, so this is a bit of a mix-up, which I'm glad to see. But yeah, I completely agree, and I think generally speaking, that I want to see more variation, because variation is the spice of life, and it's especially the spice of Echo. It is, and I think. To be fair on Via Respawn, I don't think they really. It's the attackers' prerogative to change first, not necessarily the defenders. So if they are able to hold the point and the attackers are just running into them, like just doing the same thing over and over again, then it's like, do you need to change? Like there's no reason to if they're just going to be doing the same thing over and over again. So actually, I don't blame Respawn for holding their ground on that. I do think that Amok should have changed though, and I do hope more kind of dynamic play from them this round.
Yeah, and I mean, I kind of agree with your statement of change should be reactionary. It works in the in the sort of space we are now, where it's kind of, we're still kind of figuring it out. One thing we see from one of the very, very big teams in another FPS. G2, I think they're called. They will change every single round. They will not have the same strategy twice ever.
Yes,
which takes
absolutely.
a lot of work, but it also means that you can't predict it. You just have to be a really, really, really good player, or maybe sort of try and predict something.
Yeah, and I think we last 2 seasons as well, we've done that with Echo Arena, and our Echo Arena team will do that, where we will try and vary up the jousting strategy quite frequently. I do think, though, if you consider that for Echo Combat, if you don't die, as V Respawn didn't for a large portion of that, and if you don't die altogether as well, more particularly, then the ability to change your loadout kind of doesn't really, you can't change your loadout obviously whilst you're still in the match and still playing. So until you die, you don't have the opportunity to change your loadout. So
you can go back, but it's a terrible idea.
Yeah, you're much better off just dying because of how fast the respawn timers are. But regardless of all that, we are going to be getting into the next match here on Combustion, which will be our first Combustion match of the day.
I'm looking very, very much forward to this. And yeah, we do see Batsuka coming in. Batsuka and Ducky, so they have switched out. I should know this. They have switched out someone.
Devil.
Devil. There we go. Devil. Yeah, Devil was doing work, but he was sort of a. I can see why they got Bazooka in there. Already using that grenade there. That might not have been the best play, since almost gets killed out. He will survive.
A lot of Comets, threat scanners, and heals coming out from both teams right now.
Yeah, just a lot of play on the hill there, which is of course the this big thing up here. But we will see Amok getting just snuffed out just in the last bit. They will get a kill or two for themselves. Well, hold on, Codsworth is just doing a lot of work. They will actually win out this 2v4, I believe. That was quite a little engagement there. Shotguns really, really are the strongest weapon on this site in particular. On site for Combustion, I would say the shotguns are a clear winner, whereas on Dyson, you can have a sniper, you can have a pulsar if you want. Here it's shotguns. You want to have shotguns up close.
Yeah, this is king of the shotgun hill, basically. But there's so using this high ground up here to try and get some pick play. I'm not sure how fond I am of this strategy, because this kind of plays into the problems Amok had last week in terms of their indecisiveness, trying to wait and make picks before they actually start committing to stuff, which I'm not a huge fan of. I think they need to be slightly more decisive in their play. Great hold here from V Respawn though, really nicely done, and good heals from Amok too.
It occurs to me now that I said completely the wrong one. It is, of course, not Amok that got the point, but it is VR Respawn. That is my bad. But 80% for VR Respawn already, that is quite fantastic. But, yeah, as you said before, kind of sitting back, waiting for an opportunity does not work here because it is so fast-paced. You have to create your opportunity. You have to go in there. And that is what Flush will do. Going in there at 99%, and he will get a kill. And that will lead to a couple of more kills for his team. Let's see if they can hold on. They cannot.
Round complete.
But that was quite a
quick round here from V Respawn there. Yeah, I'm slightly concerned off the back of that one. It could just be that I think I mean, I don't know how the map selection process happens or if it's randomized at all.
I can just
but if this is a much better map for V Respawn, I think this will be a pretty easy walk for them in terms of what I've seen so far for Amok. I think, again, you saw some decisive pushes from V Respawn towards the end of that, again, on the defensive side, which I really liked. And again, not much of an answer from Amok. Amok are going to get onto the point first this time, though. Then, oh no, they're not. Sorry, they're going to go sweep round and let V Respawn take it for some reason.
There are 3 people over here.
But they've been spotted, though, is the problem.
Not really hiding at all because of the strength going on from the attack mod. But they do get the first kill here. Second kill will go to VR Respawn. And, getting stunned now. Flush Goku can't really do much here. They are just hunting them down. Not really a lot that Amok can do. VR Respawn is just sitting very, very pretty on that point. They will not know, however, that Ducky's hiding down here.
I would actually like to see Amok get rid of all the comets for this round. I'd actually really like them to see them all running meteors or shotguns or something. Just the problem seems to be that these kind of pick potentials that they're going for with like Batsuga and Ducky just aren't working out. And I think for this map specifically, they need to be way more aggressive with the kind of play that they're working towards.
Yeah, for sure. And Ducky will just get killed out. He did get a kill for himself here. Cotsworthless. Very, very, very aggressive. But yeah, this is King of the Shotguns, as you called it. It is a very, very easy map to be a shotgun on because you have something to grab onto always if you're on point.
The thing is as well that, I mean, if they are, just V Respawn collectively are grouped really closely on this point. This is perfect opportunity for like a triple meteor challenge, and just you can splash damage all of them simultaneously because they are staying quite grouped on the point here.
Yeah, but Amok just not at their best right now. They get killed out, they get team wiped, they fall to a lot of easy stuns, and yeah, as we see here, they know it's over now. They have lost, but a good game to them. I think they did. I think the faults they have with their strategy are not insurmountable.
Yes, agreed. Yeah. And I think it's largely comes down to strategy, actually. I think their individual, for especially Flush, Flush, Stoti, and Ducky as well have shown up today at different stages. I think Flush especially is consistently showing up every single time. He almost always ends up being one of the biggest playmakers in any of Amok's games. So good to see he's kind of keeping that up. But yeah, I agree. I think it's largely strategy based. It seems to be Amok's stumbling block with when it comes to kind of some of these more challenging teams like V Respawn. Although props to V Respawn, they had some fantastic play through that as well. Really solid strategy, defense, offense as well. I don't actually think we got to see them on offense a great deal. They were largely the ones defending the points.
Yeah, but they put themselves in that position 100% of the time, which is
exactly so
what we want to see.
Yeah, and the thing is as well, if you're very good at if you're very good at defending, basically, in terms of the ability to hold on to those points where they have been, as long as you're really good at that, you should never need to be doing too much attacking. So it makes sense that from their perspective, if their defense is so solid that they very rarely lose the point again, it's a great play from their side of things. It's a great kind of strategy to be refining that down, which they've clearly done very well. And one thing I think the Respawn did that I haven't seen many other teams do, which actually they've also done in the payload map, is kind of an offensive defense, and it catches so many teams out going aggressive when the other team are coming towards you, going aggressive towards them and aggressively pushing the people that are supposed to be attacking you, because their loadouts and their tac mods will be all geared towards basically breaking your defense. So you can counter that by getting aggressive on them, and so often by killing maybe 1 or 2 people, it completely destroys the entire attack. And then they have to do a whole reset, wait for spawns. Sometimes they're staggered. It's just a very, very good play from their side of things.
Yeah, it's a really, really, like, I won't say easy, but it's a really interesting and good way to gain 10, 20 seconds actually for your your
and they just keep doing that over and over again. That's what they've been doing, and that's what they've been very good at, because you saw in the on the first Dyson map there that they just did the same thing over and over again, and they didn't break. It was very well held. They're kind of their staggered defense, even if they lost a player here and there, the other ones held up, and they were taking enough people out to stop the momentum of it. So it was just very all round well played from them. And I think as we kind of spotted a little bit today, I think the counter to that will be variance, and I think it will be varying loadouts and also varying strategy in terms of how they're going to tackle that defense, because by varying that, it kind of means that they really, I mean, theoretically, all these guns and loadouts have counters, whether that's team counters or individual counters. So, for example, I would say the Comet in close range is countered by the Nova, for example.
Yeah.
So things like that are like there are technically counters for loads of these different things. So I'm hoping to see more dynamic changes and also strategies coming out from AMOC in future. But Respawn, I think, did a really good job in those games, and I think based on what they've developed so far, I think they're going to continue working on kind of going from strength to strength by the looks of it.
Yeah, and just to kind of finish out, because this is a very short cup, there were only 4 teams tonight. So just to kind of finish out, we do have the round of Just So Here So We Don't Get Fined and Mildcard playing a bit. I think, just based on what Mildcard did, I think Find will win that out in the end, but we won't know for sure until they've played. But the first and second places are for sure now, since we have one that's won 2 of their games, 3 of their games, and one that's won 2 of their games. So VR Respawn will take the victory with 9 points. So first place for them, very well done. And AMOG will take second place. With 6 points.
Great play from both teams. I think Respawn definitely deserved it, though. That's their very strong defense towards the end of that. And it's a great cup. Good cup. It was a good couple of games. Hopefully, we'll get to see more of that going forwards. And I think teams are very clearly growing week on week. So as time progresses, I think we're going to see more and more of kind of these interesting strategies and plays. And excited.
I'm also quite excited for it, and I'm quite excited for Combat, because I've said this a lot before. I grew up on FPSs, so this is what I know. This is my kind of arena. I love arena, but this is where I.
But Malaran, do you know what's even more exciting?
Merch?
No.
Okay.
The Echo Arena Community Cup, which will be taking place tomorrow at this time.
Hey! Fantastic segue, can I just say. Yeah, we will cast this tomorrow, I think, again at 19 UTC plus 1, 18 UTC. I don't know. Because there will be a North American Cup, and we will get someone set up to cast that.
All the casting and all the games, and it should be really good. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be. We got a load of new teams this week as well. Actually, I think we got a bunch of new teams. All the old guard. Some changes as well for some of the kind of more established teams that have been happening over the last couple of weeks. So, it's looking good.
I'm looking quite forward to it. It's going to be great. But this is around the same time tomorrow. It's gonna be a little bit longer. I don't actually know how many have signed up, but I'm guessing it's more than 4. Because usually people sign up late. God damn it.
Yes,
a lot
the
of people.
Echo Arena teams are religiously known for turning up like a minute before the tournament and being like, "Oh hi, we're here now."
It's yeah.
we may have been one of those teams for the last 2 years, but that's
Maybe.
possibly.
Just maybe.
Yeah, it's fine now because Viatrix is now responsible for doing it, so it's not in Jersey time anymore. It's
Oh.
he's now the he's the joiner of tournaments, so that's his job.
Good. That's
Yeah.
good. It's good to hear. So, I'll just I realize I haven't quite shown off one of the good things about this this thing you've done here. We will go out on our casters thing. Oh, it doesn't work. Damn it.
Is it not
Damn
working?
it. Shit. Oh well. We'll figure it out tomorrow. There'll be a day tomorrow.
Okay, that's fine.
Everything's going to be great. Have a good night. GG to Via Respawn, and have a good night.
Yep, I'll see you tomorrow.
See
Bye.
you tomorrow, man.